Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Good afternoon to both those who are here physically present and those who are following us via streaming. Welcome to the ceremony of the Bial Award in Biomedicine 2025. We shall start the ceremony with a musical moment. The choir of the Abel Salazar Institute of Biomedical Sciences will perform Acordai Wake Up by Fernando Lopes Graça, Creep by Radiohead with arrangement by Matthew Olson, and Para os Braços da Minha Mãe, Into My Mother's Arms by Pedro Abrunhosa.
So very special. vento frio em Paris, só já memória raiz. Ninguém sai de onde tem paz. Quero ir para casa, embarcar num golpe de asa, pisar a terra em brasa, que a noite já aí vai. Quero voltar para os braços da minha mãe. Quero voltar para os braços da minha mãe.
The rector of the University of Porto, Professor António Sousa Pereira, will now take the floor as the first speaker. Good afternoon, everyone. Dear President of the Bial Foundation, Dr. Luís Portela, dear Deputy Minister of the Reform of the State, Professor Gonçalo Matias, dear members of the Portuguese Parliament, dear rectors of Portuguese universities present here, dear chairmen of Portuguese associations, dear mayors and other municipal representatives, other authorities, dear guests. Welcome to the University of Porto and to this building where, until recently, we had our Institute for Biomedical Sciences. Now has been totally renovated, dedicated to the unique personality of Abel Salazar. It is for us a great honor to host here the Bial Award in Biomedicine for 2025, which distinguishes again a work with exceptional results from the point of view of scientific research. It not just because of protocol reasons, but I think it is actually a work that in a short period of time achieved immense national and international prestige. And this shows that the partnership between the European Medical Association and the scientific notoriety of the jury were able to choose a fair winner. Besides, biomedicine and the research in this field is absolutely critical for the well-being of the community, which made the Porto University to establish in 2018 the consortium of creating an institution for cutting-edge research in the field of biomedicine. and it has, in the meantime, involved other institutions of the Portuguese society, from infectious disease to cancer to neurodegenerative diseases and so many other diseases. We have tried to invest strongly in research for a better future for everyone. I would like to highlight in a very special way the importance of this award as a way to stimulate research and the production of knowledge in this scientific field, and also because it has a critical role for understanding the meaning and the importance of the work developed in a field in which its impact is not yet very much disseminated among the general public, which cannot always understand the huge investment made in the development of a science that, although advancing, it's advancing at small steps and slowly. So it is more than fair to recognize the contribution of the Bial Foundation towards medical research, namely by promoting the award, this Bial Award in Biomedicine, and the Maria de Souza Award, which is annually organized by the Portuguese Medical Association, and also the other projects it supports in various fields of parapsychology and psychophysiology. So for all of this, I want to compliment in a special way the president of the Bial Foundation, Dr. Luís Portela, for his commitment and for the leverage he has been giving to the advancement of science and research in the field of health, both in Portugal and abroad. The University of Porto is well aware of the importance of the contribution offered by the Bial Foundation, and namely in helping also to transfer knowledge generated in the university and putting it at the service of society. We all know that the progress is slow, but as the North American geneticist Wheeler said, whatever new biomedical experience that is successful, however small advancement it makes, confirms the principle of Darwin that evolution is in the core of biology. So thank you all very, very much, and congratulations to the winners in the plural. We will now give the floor to the president of the Bial Foundation, Dr. Luís Portela. Good afternoon, everyone. Dear Deputy Minister for State Reform, representing the Portuguese Prime Minister, dear Rector of the University of Porto, dear President of the Council of Rectors of Portuguese Universities, dear Presidents of the Portuguese Medical Association, of Portuguese Dentists Association, and other representatives of professional associations, dear Chairman of the Board of Trustees of the University of Porto, Vice Rectors, and other representatives of Portuguese universities, dear Mayor of Trofa, and dear City Councillor of Porto, dear Executive Director of the Portuguese National Health Service and other representatives of the public administration, dear presidents and other representatives of foundations, as well as other business associations, dear presidents of other representatives of medical schools and research and development institutions, dear colleagues in the pharmaceutical industry, dear members of the jury of the Bial Award in Biomedicine 2025, other authorities present, dear awardees, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your presence at this celebration of the science that is done in health. The Bial Foundation is a non-profit institution of public interest established 32 years ago by the pharmaceutical company Bial and the Council of Rectors of the Portuguese universities, and managed ever since by an independent board made of representatives from both institutions. The foundation's activity focuses on awarding 3 prizes and 2 research grant systems. The research grant system created in 1994 seeks to encourage scientific development in the fields of psychophysiology and parapsychology, and has so far supported 946 projects involving around 1,900 researchers from 31 countries. 25% of all projects that applied were supported after having been selected by the Foundation's scientific board, made up of 75 scientists of great standing and chaired by Professor António Damasio. The documentary series Beyond the Brain, which RTP1, the Portuguese channel, television channel, aired from May to September last year, and which is still available on RTP Play, discloses some of the results of the scientific research that the Bial Foundation has supported. In the symposium Behind and Beyond the Brain, which we hold in April of even years at the Medical House of Porto, our fellows present the results of their work, discussing them with top scientists in their respective fields. This year's symposium from April 8 to 11 will focus on the topic end of life experiences. The Nuno Grande PhD scholarships, a recent joint initiative of Professor Nuno Grande's family, of the Abel Salazar Biomedical Sciences Institute and the Bial Foundation, annually distinguish 3 PhD doctors in fundamental health science in Portuguese medical schools. The Bial Prize for Clinical Medicine, organized in even years since 1984, requires that at least one of the candidates be a doctor from a Portuguese-speaking country and seeks to encourage and distinguish clinical research. Some of the best health professionals from Portugal and from some other countries have been awarded. The Maria Sousa Award, which we organize annually with the Portuguese Medical Association, was created in 2020 and seeks to encourage young Portuguese researchers up to the age of 35 in the field of health sciences. Finally, the Bial Award in Biomedicine, in its 4th edition, with an extended value of 350,000 euros, is held every odd year, seeking to reward the best that has been done worldwide in the last 10 years in terms of biomedical research. We intend to distinguish through a nomination process the published work that has contributed the most to improving the world's population health, the health of the world's population. The choice is made by an international jury with 2 members appointed by the European Research Council, 2 by the Council of Rectors of Portuguese universities, 2 by the European Medical Association, 2 members of the scientific board of the Bial Foundation, 2 former winners of the Bial Award, and 2 representatives of scientific journals, which in this edition were the British Medical Journal and the New England Journal of Medicine. This year, the jury is chaired by a great lord in worldwide science, neuroscientist Ralph Adolphs from the California Institute of Technology, Caltech. I want to thank the members of the jury for their competent and dedicated work and for all the care and attention they offer the Bial Foundation. 8 of the 12 members are present here at the ceremony, which testifies their degree of involvement. To all, thank you very much. Professor Ralph Adolphs has given us the honor of accepting to chair the next edition of the Bial Award in Biomedicine 2027. We will then ask the institutions concerned to please inform us their representatives, who their representatives are. This year, the jury chose to award a study published in Science, in the Science magazine in 2018, which highlights the relevance of gut microbiome in the effectiveness of cancer immunotherapy, carried out by an international consortium of 48 researchers linked to French institutions and from some other countries. So we want to congratulate all the members of the winning team, namely the couple who led the study, Laurence Zitvogel and Guido Kroemer, and also the first three authors present here, Bertrand Roti, Emmanuel Le Chatelier, and Lisa De Rosa. Thank you for your outstanding work, and I wish you all the best. I would also like to thank the Council of Rectors of Portuguese universities, namely the person of its president, Professor Paulo Jorge Ferreira, and the Portuguese Medical Association, the person of its president, Dr. Carlos Corte, for all the support they have always given us. I would also like to thank the rector of the University of Porto, Professor Antonio Sousa Pereira, for the openness with which he always welcomes initiatives from the Bial Foundation, as is the case of the ceremony. I want to thank in a special way to the Deputy Minister of State Reform, Professor Gonçalo Matias, representing here the Portuguese Prime Minister, and also the Vice President of Infarmed, Dr. Raquel Ascensão, representing the Portuguese Minister of Health. Thank you all very much for participating in this celebration of the science that is done in health, a celebration that is above all of Professor Laurence Zitvogel and Professor Guido Kroemer, and of all the other 46 members of the remarkable winning team. They are here on these pictures. But also a celebration of the jury that chose the winning paper among the 58 nominees from 18 countries, and a celebration of the Bial Foundation, which wishes to continue a discreet but effective support and encouragement to all researchers and health professionals in Portugal and around the world. And after all, it is a celebration of the entire health community. Congratulations once again to all the winners. Thank you for your kind attention. Next, we will hear the speech of the president of the jury of the Bial Awards in Biomedicine 2025, Professor Ralph Adolphs.
Good evening. Honorable Minister Gonçalo Matias, Rector of the University of Porto, Professor Antonio Pereira, and dear Luis Portela, President of the Bial Foundation, as well as celebrated authors of the winning paper. First author Bertrand Roti, pictures are over there, Laurence Zitvogel, and Guido Kroemer, the two senior authors, as well as all 40 of your co-authors on this winning paper, other presidents, dignitaries, and representatives who are here in attendance, colleagues of the jury, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy and honored to be with you here tonight in beautiful Porto to celebrate the 4th edition of the Bial Award in Biomedicine. As president of the jury, I would like to give you a little background and introduce you to the topic of how we achieved this point. The Bial Foundation, as you heard, has been funding science and medicine for the past 32 years. And this is because of the vision and the generosity of its president, Dr. Luis Portela. Dr. Portela himself received 3 awards this past year that recognize his contributions to science, to medicine, and indeed to society in general. So I would like to take this opportunity to extend gratitude on behalf of scientists, on behalf of the jury, and also personally to Dr. Luis Portela for his faith and his commitment and support in science and medicine. Dear Luis, thank you. I would also like to thank the expert staff of the Bial Foundation who were instrumental in helping put this event on and helped us, the jury, over the past 6 months. First and foremost, Paula Guedes and Helena Gama, as well as Sandra Pintro and Karina Rodriguez. All of those helped us tremendously. The Bial Foundation, as you just heard, has several different mechanisms for funding research in science as in medicine. The oldest one are the research grants, which have funded work all over the world, hundreds of them to universities and scientists, close to 1,000, in fact, as you heard. And then 3 prizes, the Clinical Medicine Award, the Maria de Souza Award, and the Bial Award in Biomedicine. The Bial Award in Biomedicine began in 2019. Fernando Lopes da Silva, a famous neuroscientist, was the chair of the jury at that time, and very tragically, Fernando Lopes da Silva passed away shortly thereafter, and I took over with my tenure as president of the jury. In 2019, the award was for a team led by Caetano Reis e Souza, and they elucidated a mechanism for cancer, a particular type of melanoma, in that paper. In 2021, the second edition of the Bial Award in Biomedicine, this went to a team from America, led by Drew Weissman, and they had discovered a particular new way to make a vaccine that uses messenger RNA, mRNA, that instructs the cells in our bodies to make the proteins that do all the work. That vaccine technology was engineered into a vaccine for the coronavirus, as you might remember, and was used to fight the COVID pandemic. After winning the 2021 Bial Award in Biomedicine, Drew Weissman and colleagues then went on to win the Nobel Prize in Medicine for their work. In 2023, the third edition of the Bial Award in Biomedicine, this went to a team in Germany, Thomas Kuhner, Frank Winkler, and colleagues, and they had discovered a fascinating interplay, once again, between cancer, tumor cells, and the nervous system, where tumor cells were able to hijack nervous system cells in order to proliferate and to infiltrate tissue. Once again, Frank Winkler then won, after winning the Bial Award in Biomedicine in 2023, another prestigious award, the Brain Prize, for their work. And today, we have the 2025 edition of the Bial Award in Biomedicine. This was for a paper that was published in Science in 2018, whose topic and whose findings I can maybe best introduce to you with a very simple question. The question to you is this one: who are you? What are you made of? When you think about these simple questions, you would say it's your skin, your bones, your brain, your internal organs that constitute you. And sometimes things go wrong, and you have cancer and a tumor, which is not you, and your immune system then needs to fight that tumor so that you are you again. But it turns out that, in fact, the cells in your body are fewer than the bacteria and the viruses that live on the surface of your body and that live inside your body. Particular importance is the bacteria that live inside your gut, the so-called gut microbiome. These are the bacteria that you keep happy when you eat yogurt and raw vegetables, and they in turn keep you happy through a host of neurodegenerative diseases, psychiatric diseases that they help to fight, the mechanisms of which are still poorly understood. The key finding of today's winning paper is that the gut microbiome, the bacteria in your gut, in fact help your immune system to fight cancer. So 6 months ago, we, the jury, received nearly 60 nominations from 18 countries around the world, and we had the task of trying to figure out the very best winning paper. We had lots of discussions over email, over Zoom, and then here in Porto, in person, back in November, to pick the single winning paper. And for this, we focused on the two core criteria of the Bial Award in Biomedicine. The name already tells it to you, biomedicine. The paper had to be the best in terms of basic biological research on the one hand, as well as clinical relevance. And the paper is a beautiful tour de force of research, a whole series of difficult, complex, well-controlled research studies, some in mice, some in humans, some that cross between mice and humans, that show us a causal mechanism between a specific bacteria in your gut microbiome, that help the immune system to fight cancer. The clinical relevance is extremely high because the conclusions from the paper can be applied immediately. For example, the paper would suggest that you should be very cautious, or you should not, give antibiotics to patients who are undergoing cancer immunotherapy, because antibiotics harm the bacteria in your gut. Instead, you might give those cancer patients the specific bacteria that in fact were identified in the paper that will help the immune system to fight cancer. So outstanding in terms of basic research, highest clinical relevance, and I would just like to close with two further features that distinguish the winning paper. One is that it had a conceptual breakthrough. It made us see the world, made us see life. It made us see who we are in a different light, in a different way. You are, in a sense, an ecosystem, not just the cells in your body, but in fact the bacteria that help your body to survive and to be healthy. And the final point, which I would like to close on, goes back to my introduction and what you see here behind me, which are the photographs of all of the authors of that paper, which is that when you read the paper and you go through all the experiments, these are difficult, complex experiments, it would be impossible for a single person to do this. Instead, the paper exemplifies, it's a testament really, to cooperation between people, cooperation between scientists in a team to achieve what no single individual could. So please join me tonight in congratulating all 43 co-authors of the paper that is the winner for the 4th edition of the Bial Award in Biomedicine. Thank you.
We will now move on to the most awaited moment of the ceremony, in which we will deliver the diplomas to 5 of the 48 authors of the winning works of this award present at the ceremony and who will be representing the rest of the teams. Gut microbiome influences efficacy of PD-1-based immunotherapy against epithelial tumors, published in the journal Science, January 2018. So I would ask the president of the jury, Professor Ralph Adels, to present the diploma to the 3rd author, Dr. Lisa De Rosa, whom we now call to the stage. Now, the rector of the University of Porto, Professor António Sousa Pereira, will deliver the diploma to the 2nd author, Dr. Emmanuel Le Chatelier, who we also call to the stage. We now ask the president of the Portuguese Medical Association, Dr. Carlos Cortes, to deliver the diploma to the 1st author, Dr. Bertrand Roti, whom we call to the stage. Now, the president of the Council of Rectors of the Portuguese Universities, Professor Paulo Jorge Ferreira, will deliver the diploma to the corresponding author, Professor Guido Kroemer, who we will all call to the stage. Finally, we ask the Deputy Minister for State Reform, Professor Gonçalo Matias, present at this ceremony, representing the Prime Minister of Portugal, to deliver the diploma to the corresponding author, along with the President of the Bial Foundation. Thus we call to the stage Professor Laurence Zitvogel. We will now listen to Professor Laurence Zitvogel, the author of the work distinguished with the Bial Award in Biomedicine, who will present their work.
So, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Dear Professor Matias, Minister in the Cabinet of the Prime Minister, Dr. Guido, Deputy to the Assembly of the Republic, Professor Ferreira, President of the Council of Rectors of Portuguese Universities, Professor Sousa Pereira, Rector of the Universidade do Porto, Dr. Cortes and Pavao, President of the Portuguese Medical and Dental Associations, respectively, Dr. Portela, Chairman of the Bial Foundation, Dr. Adolphs, President of the jury, ladies and gentlemen, official representatives, colleagues and friends. We would like first to congratulate the Bial Foundation for creating this fabulous, this prestigious, this very generous award that will inspire the young generations to engage into life sciences, research and medicine. Secondly, all the 46 co-authors join us to, of course, thank the Bial Foundation, thank the scientific committee for selecting our work. This is we are very moved, we feel very honored by this special distinction. Third, we would like to, and we are very indebted to the Bial Foundation staff, Paula Guedes and all the others, for putting together this phenomenal celebration, this galvanizing ceremony for all of us. Last but not least, I would like, of course, to thank my institutions, the French institutions, the Gustave Roussy Cancer Center, the University of Paris-Saclay, and the INSERM, as well as the Ministry of French Affairs and Research. We are located southeast of Paris, reachable from the core of the city with this futuristic metro station. Please come and visit us. So in 2011, we faced a paradigm shift in oncology in that we suddenly realized that curing cancer is not just about debulking the tumor mass with cytotoxic agents and radiotherapy, but rather to stimulate the immune system against the cancer cells. Our group has discovered that the gut barrier and its commensalism, the intestinal microbes, are actually governing the immune tonus and the anti-cancer immune responses, echoing the words of Hippocrates, all disease begins in the gut. You have to recognize that we are a meta-organism in which our mammalian part has co-evolved for millennia in a mutualistic symbiosis with tons of microbes, trillions of bacteria, archaeviruses, etc., lining up onto a 200 square meter intestinal surface to exert seminal functions. First, the absorption of the nutrients, then the elimination of the pathogens, third, the fitness of the gut barrier, and more importantly, the maturation of the immune system. The intestinal microbiome is very diverse, and its composition depends on the age, on the sex, on the genetics, on the geography, on the diet, on the co-medication, and the comorbidities. In 2013, we discovered that the alkylating agents, chemotherapeutics, as well as the first immunotherapy and antibody targeting CTLA-4 would no longer keep in check tumor progression in animals reared in germ-free facilities, meaning in animals that didn't have any gut microbiota. And this was advertised by the very famous magazine Nature as one of the major milestones in oncology. In 2018, Routis and colleagues discovered first that the antibiotics are one of the most immunosuppressive co-medications that block the efficacy of immunotherapy. Then they went on showing that the gut dysbiosis is actually a risk factor for immunoresistance. And then that Akkermansia species are the queen of the gut microbiota, and reinstate immunity against cancer. So back in 2016, two very talented PhD students, one from Canada, Bertrand Routy, the other one from Italy, Lisa De Rosa, joined my lab, and they transformed the experimental models into human reality. They discovered that antibiotics, when taken before the administration of immune checkpoint inhibitors or right after, would decrease the clinical benefit from this immunotherapy. And this has been corroborated. It was obtained in 200 patients and corroborated worldwide by several investigators in 60,000 patients now. So, to establish causality links between the composition of the gut microbiota and the resistance to immunotherapy or its sensitivity thereof, they decided to transfer fecal material from patients into mice bearing tumor and recognize that this transfer would convey responsiveness to tumor-bearing mice that would then be cured from their cancer. In the other way around, when transferring fecal material from a patient doomed to fail immunotherapy, this would transfer resistance to the recipient. The very talented biologist of the ecosystem, Emmanuel Le Chatelier, computed the metagenomes of the gut, ended up describing the beneficial and the deleterious bugs, and identifying Akkermansia massiliensis and Akkermansia muciniphila as the main drivers of the success of immunotherapy, urging Lisa De Rosa and Bertrand Routy to transfer this bacterium into the tumor bearers and transforming these animals that were otherwise non-responsive to immunotherapy because of antibiotics, suddenly responsive to immunotherapy, and observing that this response would be accompanied by the recruitment of killer T lymphocytes into tumor beds. At that time, in parallel to our efforts, two American teams discovered also that the gut microbiome was actually governing the good prognosis of patients. And a very courageous editor of Science, Priscilla Kelly, handled the 3 papers all together in back-to-back and had the courage and took the risk to publish these papers. And she also was awarded by Science as the best paper that she has ever accepted. So this work has several implementations. First, we focused on antibiotic stewardship, urging the investigators to judiciously prescribe antibiotics in the context of cancer patients amenable to immunotherapy. We developed microbiota-centered interventions, namely the queen of the commensalism Akkermansia, lyophilized and encapsulated, and administered in first-line metastatic patients suffering from kidney cancer. The phase 1 trial is finished, and we are now embarking into the phase 2 clinical trials with Akkermansia. And finally, you will hear this wonderful video and look at the progress made by Bertrand Routy back in Canada at the Centre Hospitalier Montreal, where he was able to transform this into reality, run fecal microbial transplantation trials in melanoma and lung cancer patients in first line, showing an added value of up to 30% over the standalone therapy with immune checkpoint inhibitors. So, of course, it takes a village to do all of that, as outlined by Dr. Adolphe. I am extremely indebted to all the young investigators that came in my lab, and I would like not only to thank wholeheartedly my very young and favorite investigators, Bertrand and Lisa, but also Marine Fidel, but also Myriam Messaouden, but also Romain Dayer, and others that have a lot contributed to all this beautiful work, including Ariel Elkrieff recently. I would like to thank the computational biologists, the clinicians, the families, and the patients that contributed and believed in our work. And once again, the all 46 co-authors join me to thank you wholeheartedly. And I would like also to emphasize the distal and long-lasting collaborators, Marcus Meurer, who has developed the Champalimaud Foundation Cell Therapy Unit to treat how to treat cancers. Thank you, Marcus, for your friendship and your collaborative work. And last but not least, our favorite philanthropist, David Ries, who has created very generously the Surrey Foundation, transforming nutrition into a science. And this is extremely important in the context of the next step of immuno-oncology, how we position diet and prebiotics. Thank you for your attention.
Let us now get to know firsthand the research work behind the award-winning paper.
First and foremost, I would like to thank the Bial Foundation for this amazing recognition. Indeed, this award really encouraged young scientists like me to continue our mission. Immunotherapy has changed the way we treat patients with cancer, and over the last 15 years, immune checkpoint inhibitors are the treatment backbone for patients with solid tumors such as melanoma or lung cancer. Nevertheless, we still don't know which patient will respond, and we need novel strategy to improve immunotherapy efficacy. In 2018, we discovered that the gut microbiome had a key impact on immune response. Indeed, these bacteria are connected with our immune system and even dictate our immune response. This paper made 3 pivotal discoveries. First, we demonstrated that baseline microbiome, so the composition of the microbiome before immunotherapy initiation, could predict responder versus non-responder, and we identified good bacteria such as Akkermansia. Secondly, we also demonstrated in mice and in patients that when you take antibiotic prior to your immunotherapy, the immunotherapy does not work as well. And this pivotal discovery really changed medical and oncology practice because this observation has been validated in more than 100 studies, including 43,000 patients, and we have now guidelines on judicious antibiotic stewardship. And thirdly, in this paper, in mice, we're able also to modify and manipulate the microbiome in order to improve immunotherapy response. And this discovery that modification could improve immunotherapy response led to a new field in oncology, and now there's several ongoing clinical trials in the world using fecal microbial transplantation, prebiotic and probiotic in order to ameliorate the microbiome composition and, more importantly, to increase immunotherapy. You will see today patients that benefited from these trials, and this has really opened novel therapeutic avenues.
Il y a 2 ans, on m'a découvert un cancer du poumon phase 4. Alors, à l'autre hôpital où j'étais, quand j'ai passé mes examens, on m'a dit qu'il me restait 6 mois. Quand je suis sorti de l'hôpital, j'étais complètement à terre. Je ne savais plus quoi faire. Alors, j'ai pris la décision de demander mon transfert de dossier au CHUM. 1 mois après, on m'a rappelé, j'ai rencontré le docteur Elkrieff et j'ai rencontré le docteur Routy. Et puis, elle m'a parlé des traitements, chimiothérapie, immunothérapie et prise de camu-camu. Alors oui, j'ai participé aux recherches et plus ça allait, plus mon état s'améliorait. 2 ans plus tard, mes radiographies sont normales, le cancer a disparu.
3 years almost to the day, I was diagnosed with melanoma cancer, which was discovered through a growth in my lymph node in my armpit, and further examination revealed that it had spread to my thorax cavity, lungs, liver, and other places as well. My prognosis was not good, and I was introduced through my doctor to Dr. Routy and Dr. Elkrieff's team. They explained to me experimental treatment, which involved a fecal transplant and double immunotherapy. Throughout my treatment with the research team and my doctor, I only have praise to say. I received all the support that I needed. I was never left in the dark. I was always, all my questions and queries and anxieties were answered. The support team also was amazing. And as of last March, I'm 100% in remission. I hope that the team receives all the resources and funding they need to continue this research, and other people like me can win this cancer and go about with their lives.
The Deputy Minister for State Reform, Professor Gonçalo Matias, will now take the floor on behalf of the Prime Minister of Portugal. Dear Rector of the University of Porto, dear members of the academic community, dear President of the Bial Foundation, dear members of Parliament, dear President of medical associations, dear members of the jury, dear nominees, dear researchers, dear ladies and gentlemen.
First of all, I would like to thank the members of the jury and congratulate for the prize you won. I'm really impressed, I must say, by what I've heard here, the description of your research. It's very impressive, and no matter how important we all think our roles are and how relevant they are to society, when we hear that someone is dedicating their lives to research that saves lives and promotes the dignity of people that are healed, it only humbles us and make us thank you so much for your incredible work. So thank you very much.
It's an honor to represent the Prime Minister of Portugal on this important event and acknowledge the critical work done by the Bial Foundation in the production of knowledge and research in sciences, health sciences. For decades, the Bial Foundation has been a reference internationally in supporting science, encouraging innovative projects in the fields of neuroscience and in research in health, and its mission to promote scientific knowledge of human being is a commitment with progress, human dignity, and with the future. So I want to thank the President of the Bial Foundation, Dr. Luís Portela, for the work you have developed. I am an admirer of your work and an attentive reader of your papers. So thank you all very much, and thank you very much for the contribution you've done for Portugal, also for a modern Portugal. Now, today we are acknowledging the winners of this edition of the Bial Award in a field that requires perseverance and accuracy. Their results show that science is one of the most powerful instruments for social transformation, and their achievements are a proof that Portugal is a country of excellence, open to the world, and that contributes to the greatest advancements of science and for the future. And we saw so many names in this paper, so many of them coming from different parts of the world. And so today we are here in Porto having the honor and privilege of bringing all this talent together and acknowledging it and bearing witness to this tremendous advancement in science. So in our government we recognize that investment in science means development. Whoever does not bet on science, this holds back the advancement of the future. But this is not just the responsibility of the government. It is a joint effort by creating the conditions for knowledge and science to advance together, and so that innovation can translate into better public policies and better quality of life. Portugal has talent, has institutions of excellence. We have one of them here. Has young people that are highly qualified and a dynamic scientific community, and so and this meeting here today is a proof of that. And we of course, have in order to overcome challenges and bureaucracy, we need determination. And whenever new technology comes up, then society faces less uncertainties, as has happened in other revolutions. So we are determined. We are living a decisive moment. The adoption of AI with ethical and responsibility will leverage critical sectors like the sector of health and scientific research, putting innovation at the service of people. We are working when resources like regulatory check boxes, pools of AI, so that the academia and companies and public administration can have the best instruments to transform knowledge into product and solutions with a real impact in society. And so, just last week in New Delhi, I was there in a major international summit with more than 20 heads of government and state to discuss the ethical regulation of AI, so that it can be used at the service of humanity, always considering a human being at the center and human dignity at the center. That is a clear goal of a community, and all nations want to achieve that consensus, namely in India, where we discussed the consensus between the global south and the global north. Portugal, also by creating the Agency for Innovation and Research, wants to consider innovation at the center of all stages, from research in universities to their application in companies, in order to create greater technological advancement, create wealth, and give greater stability to the scientific system. And so that agenda is a clear sign of the importance it has and of the investment public administration is making on innovation. Because Portugal has still room for improvement, the number of patents and the transfer of knowledge into the economy is a critical aspect, especially when companies are looking for talent. Innovation is a decisive factor for the competitiveness of our companies. We are committed to simplifying processes, reducing red tape, and ensuring interoperability, and allowing for regulatory previsibility, so that companies, academia, and researchers can cooperate for the essential aspect, which is to research, to discover, and to innovate. But no policy is sustainable without people that make it a reality. That is why Portugal keeps investing in education, in digital skills, and in advanced training, preparing new generations for the scientific challenges of the future, because science will only fulfill its role when it turns into greater knowledge. The state must also recognize the critical role of foundations, scientific societies, and of the private sector in supporting innovation. Portugal only grew and became more prosperous when it found these connections and was able to take the best from each one towards the same goal. Entities like the Bial Foundation are critical partners for this innovation, creating innovation and encouraging the search for answers for the most complex aspects of human condition. A commitment with knowledge, with progress, and with scientific discovery creating better conditions for Portugal to keep asserting itself as a country that bets on innovation and research. So to the winners of this award, thank you for showing that research, accuracy and dedication are transforming forces. To the Bial Foundation, I want to thank you for promoting science and for investing with a vision and responsibility in knowledge that will change the future. Thank you all very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your presence here or through streaming in the ceremony of the Bial Awards in Biomedicine 2025. Good evening to you all.